Namaskar and a very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are back with the Diversey GM show series, season 2, with episode 22. We've had a wonderful show yesterday, the 21st one, after a long break that we had after show number 20. We broke off to get in to the BW Hotelier Indian Hospitality Summit and Awards, which was very successful, and we've had great viewership. We've had a very nice time. Some of the best speakers spoke. If you haven't been able to see the live action, be our guest, watch the recordings on our social media and at the weBBlast.com. Today we have another wonderful show. This one is focused on the Northeast. And we have some fantastic speakers. We have experts of the Northeast. Northeast is the next big frontier for the Indian hospitality industry and India tourism, if I may say, and India per se. We shall discuss a very important topic today: challenges, opportunities, and the way forward for sustainable tourism across the Northeast. Before I get into the show, let me begin by thanking our partner for the series, Diversey. Diversey is a great partner to do an important series like this with us, and we have a great relationship. They've been 100 years in this business of total solutions as a provider for hospitality. And hoteliers put their trust in Diversey's solutions because they take a holistic approach towards clean, and they act as they complete as a strong hygiene partner for the industry. All right, now let me just do some hygiene pointers. The BW Hotelier GM show is held every Thursday and Friday from 4 to 5 p.m. across our social media and weBBlast.com. Block your time. We have another 10 to 12 more shows to go after finishing 21. Be there, follow us, and support us. Let me now get rolling into the show with introductions, and let me bring in my partner, moderator for the show, Jayanta Das. Jayanta Das is the Area Director and General Manager for Vivanta Guwahati. He lords over the entire Northeast for IHCL and Taj, while he drives the Vivanta in Guwahati, which is a prime asset for IHCL. Welcome to the show, Jayanta.
Thank you for getting us on the show.
All right. Okay. Next in is my colleague Nitin Pathak. Nitin is the General Manager of the well-appointed Novotel Guwahati. Good afternoon, Nitin. All right. Next in is Sanjeev Kumar, who's the Hotel Manager for the Courtyard by Marriott in Siliguri.
Namaste, Mr. Khanna.
Namaskar. Good afternoon, Sanjeev. Welcome to the show. Next in is Praveen Sharda, who's the General Manager for the Vivanta Shillong.
Good morning, Mr. Khanna. Thank you for having me on the show.
Pleasure, Praveen. Next in is Shashank Roy, who's the General Manager for the Ramada by Wyndham in Gangtok. It's called the Wyndham Gangtok Deorali Hotel and Casino. Welcome to the show. Good afternoon, Shashank.
Good afternoon, sir.
All right. Next in is Sabyasachi Mohanty, who's the resort manager for the Mayfair Darjeeling. Good afternoon, Sabyasachi. Last but not the least, we have Sandeep Makru joining in. He's the general manager of the Vivanta Tawang in Arunachal Pradesh. What a location, what a asset. I've seen some glimpses. Good afternoon, Sandeep.
Good afternoon, Mr. Khanna from sizzling Tawang. Tawang is an amazing destination.
Welcome. I look forward to seeing your hotel soon. In fact, all your hotels.
So do I.
Now we delve into the heart of the Northeast. It's a region that brims with natural beauty and cultural diversity. Our esteemed panel of general managers from the Northeast are a testimony to Northeast's hospitality industry, where we shall discuss challenges and opportunities and the path forward for sustainable tourism in this enchanting part of our country. Let me tell you, Northeast is God's gift to India. It's not just enchanting. The Northeast welcomes with both its arms open. Let India and the world explore it without disturbing what they have very carefully kept safe from the vagaries of abuse, be it environmental abuse, be it irresponsible tourism. So let us protect it. And also, Northeast is our gateway to the Far East. All right. So without much ado, let me begin with the first question. Jantada, if you're ready, let's begin with exploring Northeast tourism potential. If you can highlight the unique and diverse attractions that the Northeast offers to tourists and set a context to this show.
Thank you, Bhuvneshji, once again for organizing this beautiful program on hospitality. Particularly, we are actually touched that you thought of focusing on Northeast, which is probably one of the most beautiful part of our country, which is not explored to its potential. So Northeast region is a hub of nature and ecotourism. That's how I would put Northeast to start with. The 8 states of our Northeast, which we are fondly call them as the 8 sisters, are blessed with scenic natural beauty, sulfurous weather, rich biodiversity, rare wildlife, historical sites, distinct cultural and ethnic heritage, and most importantly, extremely warm and welcoming people. The region offers unforgettable visits for tourists interested in wildlife, religious, culture, and ethnic tourism, river cruises, golf, and host of other. There is also great scope for mountaineering, trekking, and adventure tourism in the region. It will be very interesting for us to know that there are around 220 ethnic communities in Northeast India. And there are more than 220 dialects. That's the diversity of Northeast. The 8 sisters are predominantly inhabited by native ethnic communities with a high degree of diversity, even within the ethnic groups. Now, to talk about Northeast, if I have to touch on few of the things that are very, very famous, is of course home to many wildlife sanctuaries like the Kaziranga National Park, which is famous for the one-horned rhino, the Loktak, which is the only floating national park in the world, the maximum rainfall falls at Cherrapunji, which is in Meghalaya, the cleanest village in Asia, which is in Meghalaya, the largest women's only market in Asia, pleasant weather throughout the year, dowry-free region in India, Sikkim being the first organic state in the world, and we are Northeast also is the origin of polo, etc. Now, along with very famous Kamakya temple, Tawang Monastery, for example, is the largest monastery in India, in Arunachal. The mighty Brahmaputra flows through the length of Assam, where tourists can enjoy memorable river cruises. And the flowing rivers of Arunachal Pradesh, it offers incredible whitewater rafting experiences. Now, if we come back to Assam, then we have a Majuli, which is floating in the Brahmaputra River, is the world's largest river island. And we have not spoken enough about it. It's probably the hidden gem of Assam. So as you see, there is so much of diversity, so much that we can offer across different states of our Northeast. Now, we strongly believe cuisine of a place forms an integral part of the overall tourism experience. Each of the states in Northeast has their own distinctive style of food preparation with a mix of both fiery and mellow tastes. Mostly rice is the staple food here, eaten with fresh local organic vegetables, and of course fish and meat, etc. form a large chunk of the cuisine. And most importantly, they're cooked in lightly in pungent mustard oil, which is not probably in most of the part of the world. Now, having spoken about all this diversity and the beautiful attractions that we have in Northeast, as per the tourist statistics of 2022, there has been just 118.45 lakhs of domestic tourists and around 1 lakh of international tourists which visited Northeast. Now, this is in comparison to almost 6.19 million, around 60 lakhs of foreign tourists that visited India. Now, that was, of course, not the best part of our, because of COVID, not the best part. But even that, when we compare, the 60 lakhs visited India, foreign tourists, Northeast just had 1 lakh. So this number definitely does not justify the huge tourism potential that we collectively can offer in the region. So I think this beautiful seminar that you have conducted will highlight on what are the different potentials, and my other colleagues and friends from Northeast will probably at length speak about what all we can offer across Northeast. And I very strongly believe with all the potentials that we have, Northeast in the very short run will become the most sought after tourism hub of India, and we will definitely give Goa and Kerala a run for the money. Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. You've set a very good context and your points are extremely important, not just valid. I think Northeast can carve a niche for itself, with such wonderful brands and assets over there. But also, let me say to the credit of the Northeast has truly enriched India. Across any segment you find the worthy ambassadors and beautiful and smiling faces from the Northeast who are holding very important slots, be they airlines, be they hotels, retails, malls, or wherever F&B. So yes, extremely important and very, very good. So let me now begin with my next part of the session where I bring you in, Jayantoda, as the moderator. This is your show. Take the baton from me. Now you begin asking your questions.
So I would just like to add, Bhuvnesh, to what you said.
Yeah.
So as an organization for ISCL, the hotel that currently we have in Guwahati, the Vivanta Guwahati, was started as early as 2015. And of course, over the last few years, we found that there's a huge potential across Northeast. And as an organization, ISCL, we're just not looking up, setting up a couple of hotels here and there for Northeast. But the idea is to bring Northeast to the world tourism map and create amazing itineraries across different states. So as I talk to you today, we have 11 hotels that we operate across Northeast, and we are looking at another 8 hotels in the pipeline. So for us, Northeast is where the focus is for ISCL, and we definitely want to contribute to the amazing growth story that we see for Northeast, and I think tourism plays a major role.
Oh, this is brilliant. Excellent. This augurs well for you. Your show, please take over.
Thank you, Bhuvnesh. Thank you.
I'll mute myself. Yeah.
So I start with our next point of discussion, which I would ask Nitin to contribute and talk about the way forward, the innovation and resilience, and what could be the innovative approaches and what could be the resilience that we could face in the tourism sectors for across Northeast. Yes, Nitin, for you.
Thank you very much, Jayantuda. Good afternoon, everyone. And it's always been a pleasure, speaking on BW platform, great platform. So thank you very much. But what a context and introduction you have set, Mr. Das. I'll thank you for it. You have clearly put, Northeast into that area wherein we can see Northeast is definitely a force to reckon with. Mr. Khanna also told about it. I mean, we can definitely create a niche out of it. Now, since I would not be getting into the introduction part, but I firmly believe, this is an unexplored area for sure. But however, the region has so far been constrained from achieving its full potential, and there are many challenges, I would say. It can be because of lack of proper infrastructure, inadequate marketing strategy, poor brand reception or brand recall, you can call that, travel permit procedures which are required in various parts or the 8 sisters, scarcity of skill development, and then in overall, I would say the bottom line is the the broader tourism policy by the government of India. So the challenges are humongous. I would say in last 4 years since the time I have been working out here, the journey has been phenomenal. But the kind of the opportunities which I can see out here are humongous. If I talk about challenges today, I see them as an opportunities for the future. Northeastern region, given the longest international borders, I would say, proximity to Asian countries, and a bridge between Asia, Southeast Asia, and even South Asia, I think it's not only become a tourism and travel hub, but it can also become a trade hub. And I think there are a lot of concentrated government and administrative focus which is coming in since last 2-3 years, which is definitely this area is bound to grow. Now, in terms of connectivity and transport related efforts, I would say, the connectivity has also grown up. We are talking about, across a highway which is connecting the South Asian countries which will go from the various parts of the northeastern cities. It will definitely create those, those areas wherein the trade and the tourism can grow. Coming back to the challenges or fortifying our businesses through those challenges, I think a lot of the opportunity lies into our hands also, wherein we can create that niche market through our services, through our products, through showing those cultural heritage to the tourism fraternity, the hospitality fraternity, I would say, and there are a lot of other stuff that we can do in terms of marketing. I would say MICE is one of those areas. MICE is only concentrated, if I talk about eastern part of India or northeastern part of India, wherein we are looking for more than 300 people of MICE. I think it's only concentrated towards Guwahati, Siliguri, or probably Darjeeling. But the areas like Dimapur, the areas like Shillong, probably, if the infrastructure can be developed, the number of hotel rooms can be developed, I think it's a great opportunity that we can look forward to. Of course, with the help of or with the assistance from the local government bodies or the private players who can get in. And as I say, there is a lot of administrative focus as well. I think this area is bound to grow, and I do not see any challenges as of now. Going forward, the opening of the biggest, I would say, the AIIMS in Guwahati will also add up, wherein the medical tourism might also come up. We have spoken about ecotourism, we have spoken about wildlife and all those stuff, but medical tourism is also one of those areas wherein Guwahati can be benefited from with the AIIMS, which I have heard, and through my knowledge, I understand this will be the biggest AIIMS of India going forward. So all those medical tourism, which was through the international community or the Southeast Asian countries, Assam or Guwahati can provide a substitute for people who are going to Calcutta and Delhi for that matter. So I think there are a lot of challenges, but the efforts are in the right direction. Might take some more time, but Northeast is definitely bound to grow in future. Over to you, Das, Mr. Das. Thank you.
Thank you, Nitin. I think you have actually elaborated and spoken rightly on the challenges and the way forward in terms of what are the different initiatives. And I think we have a central government which has been extremely focused in terms of driving the connectivity and creating the right infrastructure. And I think most of the state governments are also collaborating so that the tourism as an industry actually develops.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So our next speaker, our next point would be for Sanjeev. So Sanjeev, marketing and promotion, I think there's something that we need badly for Northeast, because most of our states, most of our beautiful resources are untapped and actually not being spoken much. So I think marketing and promotion is the key for success. So what would be the insights that you think for effective marketing strategy to showcase Northeast as a prime tourist destination? What do you think would be the initiative that we could take collectively for the region?
Thank you, Mr. Das. It is a very, very interesting questions to be answered. Yes, I completely agree with your thought. The kind of tourism potential we have in Northeast, it is still to be marketed better. If we look at the approach of the marketing, the place is being highlighted on the basis of a very key or focused destinations in the Northeast, which actually covered a very, very limited part of Northeast. Still, there are more to be covered on this. So in the marketing aspect, the all rural potential spots which are still uncovered and to be highlighted more in the marketing efforts, it should come in the picture. And it will also strengthen the circuits, what we offer to the people traveling towards Northeast. It will strengthen the options of circuits to be offered more. So we will have better circuits to be offered, including all the different states which come in Northeast. And these circuits will definitely attract better people coming towards our sites. So this will be a great approach if we can focus more on developing more innovative circuits to offer to the people, and those circuits can be marketed well through all the potential sources. Next, I will also would like to highlight, if we look at our information system, which individual traveler who is traveling towards Northeast, rather coming through organized channel of travel agents, they're confused from where to gather those information. So if a web portal can be created especially for the Northeast, where all the validated informations has been put in, this will be really a great help to attract the retail people who are coming and their own in the northeastern part. They'll have a help from there, and they'll be confident choosing those options from those portals. This portal also could be a help in confirming the travel towards the rural potential spots, because people are worried where to stay, where the hotels are available at those locations, I'll be able to get the hospitality. So this part has got really very, very beautiful homestays, which caters all the needs of a potential tourist who is coming to these areas. So these homestays also can be put in as a information at the portal, and it will help the people to have the information from the web portals. I believe next to it, the road shows, seminars, informative seminars or road shows can be conducted at different potential market. Not only within India, it can be conducted to the neighboring countries also, from where we see a potential tourist coming into our areas. So these seminars and road show will definitely help us to get better flow of international tourism in our area, which has really dropped in after the COVID, and we are not still able to reach out to the pre-COVID level. So this will definitely attract more people coming from outside India. The promotional events with a bigger span of time can be conducted, where we can get all the stakeholders in Northeast, along with the cultural heritage of the part of the Northeastern area, who come at a same platform, and we create a good promotional event which will create a big buzz in the market, and it will give a great marketing impact and benefit as well. So these are the primarily things which we can do in the first step, and I believe it will definitely help us to achieve our tourism goal in Northeast in a big way.
Thank you. I think very rightly. I think and the offering that we have for Northeast is not just we should reach out to our domestic source markets. I think we can definitely look at a lot of inbounds. And I'm sure as we strengthen our infrastructures, we can definitely reach out to even Europe and US market, which is one of the strongest inbound market for Indian tourism. And I'm sure that's where Northeast should look at, and we should all look at. So our next point is very, very relevant to today's context, since we are at a very nascent state of drafting the policies, etc., for across northeastern states, the eco-friendly practices and conservation. I think that's something that is very close to us and should be close to us. Especially, I think the areas that we operate, this has got a very, very meaningful context. So my next point would be for Praveen, you, with regards to the eco-friendly practices and conversation, if you can share experiences in how it's going to be implemented. I think this is in very much similar, and what we're talking about is the ISCL's Pathya initiatives is all about eco-friendly practices and conservation. So if you could throw some lights and share with us what could those be that we need to really, really practice in our business.
Good morning, Mr. Das, and greetings from Scotland of East and the first 5-star hotel in Shillong and in Meghalaya. So, Mr. Das, to give the devil its due, the government of Meghalaya is very concerned towards this green initiative thing and sustainable tourism. So, what we've done in our experience is that since it was a new opening of the hotel, so we had created a green team, and since the inception of the hotel, so we've inculcated that thing of green team in the genes of each and every employee, so that they follow this to the T. So the green team was implemented, and then we targeted the low-hanging fruits, like no plastics, rain harvesting system in the hotel. We are also trying to introduce the bottling plant, and we are trying to initiate the Pathya initiative like reuse of the linen and saving of water. What we did next was we did mindful hiring so that there's no wastage and there was no excess hiring. So there was a lot of saving in terms of food wastage and everything. So another thing that we've done is to ensure the green rooms for the guest. Like we had eco bills for the guest, and so we reduced the usage of papers. Then we had a policy of Go printers, and we have only one printer. By using the Go printers, so people automatically were printing less. Then we had seasonal menus that also added to our advantage. So we had seasonal menus in the F&B menu, and we procured from the local source. Another thing which we did was upgrade of our transportation. What we've done is we are already ordering for the electronic vehicles, and you'll be happy to know that we are the only hotel in whole of Shillong to have EV station. And since we have put in that, we're getting a lot of guests because of that. So people are traveling from Guwahati and other parts of the country just because we have the EV station, and it is adding up to our room revenue and F&B revenue too. So people just park their EV vehicles, and they have food in the restaurant, and while their vehicles is being charged, So it is an added business for our restaurant also, and it is adding up to our restaurant revenue. And also, this has been appreciated by the government, by Chief Minister himself. And another thing which we did was to make the guest TVs more interactive. So all their bills are being projected in the channel, in one of the TV channel, and the guest already knows what their bills are. And then we are also having remote sensors for lights, electricity, and in the rooms also, wherein the moment the guest leaves, the AC and the lights immediately switches off. So that is the initiative what we've done at the moment. Apart from that, we are in talks with the government to develop the windmill out here, because solar energy won't help in Meghalaya being the wettest state in the world. So, so the government has taken the note of this. So they are already going ahead with the process of windmill. Then, being a new hotel, we also did the rainwater harvesting, and also we have tied up with the Australian company for Earth Check and already achieved the bronze medal.
So thank you, Praveen. I think these are very, very noble initiatives, and we can only add to this. I think 70% of your hiring that you do locally also is a step towards eco-friendly practices and reducing the carbon footprint, etc. I think is what we all need to focus on. So thank you for all the great initiatives. So our next point and next question is for Shashank. I think on similar to what we discussed, Sikkim is the first organic state of India. Now coming to Sikkim and focusing on the environmental sustainability of Sikkim, what do you think? How does the hospitality industry contribute to sustainable tourism and ensure positive guest experiences? And what do you think would be the sustainable tourism in Northeast aspiring to match Sikkim's success? What could be few of the initiatives?
Thank you, Mr. Das, and thank you, BW Hoteliers, for giving this opportunity. Very rightly, Mr. Praveen said he has almost covered all the points of what the question you have asked. But still, very rightly said, our hotel is a very new hotel, and we have been, as the government norms and everything has been very strict, and we have been following all the protocol what has to be followed while opening the hotels. So in this, as Mr. Praveen's hotel is new, Vivanta is new there. So that has also same procedure we also follow here. As there is a scarcity of water in every season, like if it's a rainy season, there is a flood or there is an erosion of the pipelines and everything. So there is always a scarcity of water. In the winter season, the temperature is started going low, the pipeline freezes. So again, there is a water shortage. So rainwater harvesting, we do all the water we collect and we keep it in the in our storage, and we try to utilize those water whenever it's required. Apart from rainwater, we do have the seasonal menus, and all the buffets we plan for the evening or for the breakfast. We try to keep the seasonal things, utilize the seasonal things so that it gives a business to the local people, and it also give a taste to the guest who is coming to visit this place. They get the local preferences and local food. Apart from that, Sikkim has been a benchmark. Government stopped the uses of single-use plastic a year and a half ago. But Sikkim has not been using the single-use plastic for a long time. So it gives an added advantage for the place and for the area to ban all those plastics and all the waste what comes out from the tourist who comes in. Apart from that, we have been going paperless. We try to use less paper. It's all on the system, and in all the PMS what we use and the software what we use, we try to use all those to reduce the uses of paper everywhere, excess uses of that. Apart from that, we have been like Windham has an initiative called Windham Green to reduce the carbon footprint. So we have been following all those, and that is being monitored from the corporate office as well, to reduce all the extra give us sustainable things to the thing. And apart from that, still after all, using all these practices, good practices, still there are lots of wastage and things which comes into in the environment. We are trying to reduce that as a hotel what we can do. In Sikkim, there we can't use charcoals. So there's less of the smoke and everywhere. But when the tourism, we try to use the EV vehicle, because in Sikkim there is no charging station and everything. But we try to use it from the Siliguri. At least the people who are coming from the Siliguri, we try to use the EV vehicles so that the pollution can be reduced. So all these practices we have been following throughout these days.
Okay, thank you, Shashank. And I think when we talk about sustainable tourism, I'm sure as an organization, you would be hiring a lot of a chunk of your employees, your colleagues locally.
Yes.
Okay, I think that's a very, very important point when we talk about sustainable tourism.
It's a 70-30 ratio which we have to follow.
Excellent, excellent. I think that's a great initiative. And I think that's what we need to do across our hotels in Northeast. So we move to a very important point now, and that's what we spoke about, the diversity that we have. We spoke about around 220 ethnic tribes that we have Northeast. So I think there's a lot of cultural heritage that we need to preserve and promote. So my next question would be for Sabasati. Understanding the diverse cultural heritage and rich cultural heritage that we have, how do you think we could actually explore the unique culture and traditions which we could use to leverage to attract tourists into this beautiful part of our Northeast through our cultural heritage and traditions?
Thank you, Mr. Das. I would like to thank BW Hotelier as well to invite me on this show. And to the point, I would like to first start with culture is, in fact, one of the primary drivers of tourism. Wildlife, of course, monuments have been big drivers, but culture actually connects you to the experiential part of tourism.
Correct.
In fact, if we look at the northeast part of the country, which everybody has rightly connected that it is very rich in its diverse cultures, the cuisines, the dance form, the music scene of the northeast, the numerous ethnic groups, tribes, which call this the home, the traditions that they follow, which is actually bringing in the tourism to the northeast. One of the biggest examples that I can cite here is the Hornbill Festival of Nagaland, which is now more like an annual draw of tourists to the region. So although the number of tourists there would be lesser, but this event definitely pulls in a lot of tourists.
It's become a brand now.
Yes. And I'm sure this will continue. This will continue as the numbers grow up in years to come, in months to come. The other aspects of culture in this region will get highlighted. People will have a word of mouth publicity. the different agencies will pitch in so that it gets a footprint nationally and internationally. The roles that the hoteliers would have or the tour operators would have would be showcasing it to the right potential so that we bring in the right numbers, the correct justified numbers which they deserve. The culture of this region is such that each state has got a different culture. Each state has got a different vibrancy in terms of food, the traditions, and each is a different feel factor for the tourists who comes to this region of Northeast. Culturally, if I'm to look at it from the cultural tourism point of view, then cultural tourism, I feel can be actually would be having a big advantage in pulling in the tourists. But at the same time, like everybody is of the opinion that we will definitely pull in the numbers. We will definitely have with the improving infrastructure, the economics, the connectivity. We will have a large number of people coming into this region. But at the same time, starts the challenge. We have seen in the past, as the economies grow, as the connectivities grow, the challenge to retain the culture, challenge to retain the cultural values in the geography is tremendous. So that will definitely be a challenge, plus as well as an opportunity with the growing number of tourists, how we retain the cultural values, how we showcase it in the right place, how we take advantage of the cultures and the traditions in getting the numbers while still preserving the culture of the region.
I think, like you said, the Hornbill Festival, which become a brand. We also have a similar one, the Cherry Blossom in Meghalaya, which again is a beautiful example of how culture can drive tourism. And I think the tourism, the culture is actually should be the heart of and the center for all our initiatives. And a week back, I was in Kaziranga on a private visit, and I visited. It's a beautiful hotel, Borgos, and I was invited to. They organize an hour of a cultural program done by the local communities, and I think it's such an amazing thing to watch, and you get connected with the place immediately. And I think as organizations, responsible organization, that's what all of us need to do in our hotels, is not only create livelihood and promote the culture of the place, but I think our guests get connected to it immediately. And I think that's a very, very important thing to do. So thank you.
Jayanta, the Northeast has so much. Each of the sisters, they have such unique propositions. Their USPs are amazing.
Correct.
Shillong has its own orchestra. Right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Very famous, the Shillong Choir.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm sure Praveen will talk about it. Sabyasachi just spoke, Meghalaya, all of them. And let's not forget the cuisine.
Yeah,
of course.
So Shillong is the rock capital of India.
Oh, it is by far. And I follow them daily.
So this is the
You
first
must come
time
and stay in Vivanta, sir, to see the rock culture out here.
the first time that I'm seeing Praveen in a formal suit. Normally he's in the drop dress.
In fact, I would like to add in the kind of work cultures that we have, or the staffing that we generally take up. We can definitely leverage our staffing ratios from the region as the to showcase the culture, to connect with the cultures of the region, and of course they can be the brand ambassadors for their own region.
Very well said, Sabyasachi.
Yeah, right. When we talk about culture, the warm hospitality that comes naturally to us in Northeast is part of our culture.
True.
I think the word Atiti Deva Bhava is best practiced in Northeast.
And that's all comes. And the music.
And the music.
And the music. And the arts.
And the beautiful cuisine.
Oh, absolutely.
Next point of discussion, we would like Sandeep to contribute. Sandeep, which is very, very important, and I think is quite appropriate to ask Sandeep this particular his feedback, his inputs on this point, because I think his hotel, the upcoming Vivanta at Tawang, is at the farthest, or I would say it's towards the closest to our international border, the Vivanta at Tawang. So I think the point is connectivity and infrastructure. So I'm sure we are, without a proper connectivity, hotel at that end will not be able to sustain. So if you could discuss the significance of improved connectivity and infrastructure in boosting tourism. When we hear of Vivanta at Tawang, we get an idea that, connectivity across Northeast is improving. But I think it's good to hear from the man who is there at the China-India border. Over to you, Sandeep.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Das, and thank you for this opportunity to BW and to you as well, Ms. Das. Ms. Das, as across the country, the thing that is visibly noticeable in the country is the improvement in the infrastructure. And I assure you that Northeast is not different in that manner. I think we've seen a notable improvement of road development in this country. And I feel that it is in the following 6 ways that it's improved the infrastructure in Northeast. The first and the primary point is the border development of border infrastructure, as you correctly mentioned that. I think no business can happen, no tourism can happen till the time your borders are safe. I'm 40 kilometers exactly right now. I'm sitting 40 kilometers from the international border. While as people talk about Wagah and Rajasthan, I can tell you the infrastructure towards from the place that I sit and the international border is amazing. Tibet border is amazing. We see the all modern gadgets in terms of ammunition moving towards the border. We see it on daily basis. I can't explain much here on the call, but I can assure you that from our side, from Tawang, we are very, very safe, and our army men, our security people are there to secure us. It is only possible. It's been possible because of the infrastructure that's been developed in this area. I feel we're doing almost 20 to 25 kilometers of daily road development in Northeast as I speak to you today. We'll be having the world's highest tunnel, which is going to open next month. It's called the Sela Tunnel. Sela Tunnel is the world's highest 2-tube tunnel, which will have round the year connectivity to Tawang from across the country. So these are the things that have impacted positively to the livelihood of the people in this area. The second point that I would mention is the reduced travel time. And I was just going through the travel time that we see in the planes. You'll be surprised to know, Mr. Das and Mr. Khanna, that it takes around 8 to 9 hours from Delhi to Shimla, to travel from Delhi to Shimla, which is around 350 kilometers. It takes 6 to 7 hours for us to travel from Tejpur to Tawang. Now, that's the kind of infrastructure that we have currently in Northeast. From Guwahati, where you sit, Mr. Das, we're able to reach Tawang in 10 hours, which is a 450 kilometer distance. So that gives you an idea as to how far we've gone in terms of infrastructure development in this area. Connectivity to remote locations have improved. We've seen transportation moving to the remotest part of Arunachal Pradesh, at least. Arunachal Pradesh is the largest state in Northeast. And it covers the area-wise. Is the largest state, and out of 8 sisters that we have, Arunachal Pradesh is the largest state. We've got 3 operating airports in Arunachal Pradesh currently, and infrastructure is improving in all directions in this area. It's obviously because of when infrastructure gets better, it is impacting the trade and tourism. level, wherein the stuff is able to reach to those places. Infrastructure also enhance the livelihood of the people. I think the reason that Taj and IHCL has footprint in Northeast is because the infrastructure is also improved, and we'll be able to welcome a lot of guests from the plains and other parts of the country and the world. One very important point, and which people ignore most of the time, is the medical emergencies. Now, because of the infrastructure, it is easy to reach to the best of the medical services medical facilities that are available in Guwahati and other parts of the country, and it is only possible because of the improved infrastructure that is that's taken place in this part of the country. Mr. Das, thank you for this opportunity.
Yeah, I totally agree, Sandeep. And then just to add to that, to see how infrastructure has been actually growing across Northeast. I belong to a small state, Agartala, Tripura. And today, you'll be surprised to see there's Rajdhani which traveled from Agartala to Delhi, which was unbelievable a few years back. There are two Rajdhanis, Bhuvnesh, which travel from Dibrugarh to Delhi, two every day. And if you look at the quality of the airport, Agartala has probably one of the best airports today in terms of the support and the infrastructure that is there. We got a beautiful airport at Itanagar recently. Assam, the Guwahati airport is getting modernized, and this could become one of the larger airports of the country. We see railway tracks, the way it is being growing across all northeastern states. Very recently, a week back, we had our Honorable Minister for Highways, Nitin Gadkariji, here in Assam, Guwahati, where 20 projects across Northeast were launched. So there's the tremendous amount of work that is happening in terms of infrastructure and connectivity across Northeast, which is actually giving a lot of confidence.
Take a small, quick break.
Yes.
We are at the we're slightly behind schedule. So we'll take a break now of a few seconds, and then also calibrate our responses to be within 3 minutes. Not just a great partner, Diversey has an amazing range of products. Tasky is yet another one. And I'm sure all hoteliers are looking at it and they'll make use of it. All right. Okay, back to you, Jantada. Let's begin with the next session. And let me come in with a question to you. All right. Let's talk about community engagement and empowerment. We've in the passing discussed this in the last part of in the previous part of our session. How can the hospitality industry contribute to the well-being and empowerment of local communities? Let's have a quick short response from you.
Thank you, Bhuvnesh. I think you have asked me a point which is very, very close to our heart, to the Tatas and to IHCL as an organization. So I think I should start. Why should hotels engage with their communities? I think I'll start this with a beautiful quote from our founder, Jamshedji, who said, if according to him, in a free enterprise, the community is just not another stakeholder in our business, but in fact, the very purpose of his existence. I think it explains everything. And I think we are, as an organization, we are all driven by it. All our Pathya initiatives that we do are driven by this belief that the communities are not just another stakeholder in a business, but in fact the very purpose of our existence. Now, for the hotels, in the hotel's best interest, I think is important that the surrounding areas develop in a sustainable manner. Now, this is only possible by working and engaging with the community, creating opportunities, collaborating with local organizations and individuals which can contribute to the economic and social development of the area that we operate. I think this is a prime responsibility of us. I think that's something that is important for us as a sustainable proposition. So just like in hotels, we want to interact with guests, keep them engaged and create lasting connections. Community engagements also aims to encourage travelers to interact with the local groups. Now, this overall experience that the guests have with the community actually get them more involved, and that's how guests could become a stronger brand ambassador of ours. Because when they see us engaging with the communities, I'm sure today everybody want to get connected. So it's important for us to get involved with the community that we operate, get a better idea of their needs, and then tailor-make our products and services involving the community through a sustainable collaboration. I think that's how we can partner and collaborate with the local communities. Now, this initiative of responsible tourism will only help us to achieve greater customer satisfaction and loyalty by providing a more authentic ethnic experience based on local values, culture, tradition, cuisines, etc. And as I said, in our organization, ISCL, the Pathya initiatives is purely encouraged and driven by this commitment of ours to the community at large. And I think we are very strongly behind it. And I'm sure most of our other organizations in the region are committed to it. Thank you.
Excellent. So, yeah, true. You spoke so much about various things. The very fact that one is able to get into the Northeast in such detail, there's a lot of commitment of the national leadership about the states and local leadership.
Absolutely.
To shape up the Northeast to be a leader amongst the already known pack in India, right? You come from Tripura, right?
Yes.
Imagine Tripura is the other end of India.
Yes.
Which is barely connected through where Sanjeev sits in Siliguri, right? Imagine the Rajdhani reaching you there.
Yes.
On the other side of Bangladesh. Right.
We actually we are covered by or surrounded by Bangladesh on three sides.
Yes.
We just have 32-kilometer border with India through Assam, and imagine that the amount of improvement in terms of infrastructure that we have seen over the last few years.
So there you go. So let me hand the baton back to you for the last part of this show, and let us keep our responses now. That to be within 3 minutes.
Yes.
All right.
So I'll come back to my colleague Nitin. And again, we spoke about the 8 sisters, the northeastern states, we call them the 8 sisters. And I think we need to work as one destination. So how the point that I want Nitin, you to focus upon is to highlight what are the different collaborative initiatives that amongst us, the states, the 8 sisters can take in driving tourism in the Northeast. We have a diverse experience, etc. But how can we collaborate as one entity?
Yeah, Mr. Das. Collaboration tourism, I would say it's the need of the hour as if now. I mean, when we talk about more than 200 ethnic groups and the same number of dialects, and so much of a cultural diversity that we have into this region, I think collaboration is the foremost and the most important thing which is required in case if you want to develop tourism and hospitality into this region. I would just give an example, and for everyone's, in terms of time and, in benefit of everyone, whenever someone plans a visit to the Northeast, he plans 2 or 3 states together. I mean, it cannot be only into one state. So the idea of developing or the collaboration, I would say, is the better tourism policy for sure. A single window wherein you can have all the information about these states, which places to visit, be it a religious, sentiments, or probably a historical monument, or a single window clearance in terms of travel restrictions wherever there are. So single window clearance is the I would say one of the most important things that all the states should look at. In terms of traveling, I would say wayside amenities, because most of the travel is by road once you enter, or probably from Guwahati or any part of the northeastern region. Wayside amenities in terms of cuisines, the local cuisines, how you are engaging the people who are traveling on those roads, or probably a destination development and amenities as well. Wherein are you having a souvenir shop, or what is the kind of attractions that you can develop into those destination areas? So these are the collaboration. And then, as I say, when a family or when a group of people visit 2 or 3 states, they want to be entertained, they want to have an experience from each and every state. It has to be diverse. The way we diverse, the diverse nature we are, more than 200 ethnic groups, as you rightly said. And then how you are going to market it further. I mean, do we have an agency or do we have a government policy wherein we can market all those activities together? Hornbill Festival you spoke about, my colleagues spoke about, the Cherry Blossom Festival also. How you can do a marketing of these, or how you can advertise these things into those areas, and how we can, collaborate among all those states wherein we can bring in more domestic traveler any which ways is coming into the state on a very high number since last 2-3 years, but international tourism, which is definitely something on the cards. And as I say, we having the longest border across, I mean, Southeast Asian countries, I mean, this area is definitely, one of those, by doing all those collaborative approach, I think that most of the things can be covered out here as well. So over to you, Mr. Das.
Yeah, so I think a very great example of how there's been a lot of initiative in terms of how 8 states can come together is the ITM, which is planned in 2 weeks from now, the International Travel Month, which is scheduled in Shillong.
Right.
So I think it's a wonderful platform where all our stakeholders across
Absolutely.
8 states would be coming together to see how we can work together. I think
Programs and activities like this are definitely going to help us in a big way. Yeah.
So I'm sure we're all participating in that.
Yeah, sure. We will.
Okay. Thank you, Nitin.
Thank
so
you.
Move to Shashank, and we would like to hear from you on the strategies in terms of managing unforeseen crisis and ensuring safety and well-being of tourists. I think this is a very, very important point, especially because people who come down to Northeast could have a lot of thoughts. So how do you think we could probably manage that?
Indeed, this is a very important point as crisis management and the disaster preparedness. It plays a crucial aspect of ensuring the safety and security of the guest who is coming to us and the hotel. Like after COVID, last year also I was on the show and we were talking about pre-COVID and post-COVID. COVID was a scenario which we faced at that time also. We as a hotelier, all the hotels came together, and as an individual hotel, we did for the society, we were giving back to the society. Though my hotel was not operational, we were into distribution of sanitizers and everything, what we could help for that. After that, for in last 8 months, 8 or 9 months, we have been facing, like the Sikkim has been facing, there was an avalanche. And the news was on all the social media and everywhere. So tourists and everybody, tourists and all the guests, everybody was in panic mode, a panic situation. And we loads of phone calls were coming to us that what is the situation, how could we travel, how we could go to that destination or not. So the appropriate communication and appropriate guidelines has to be given to the guest and the tourist who is calling to us or who is calling to any of the hotel in that matters. the cancellation policies, because this is a natural calamities where it's an unfortunate situation where cancellation policies has to be flexible, and generally we do with that that if the guests don't want to travel and they are in a panic mode, we generally we generally give them the benefit that either they can extend the dates, the traveling dates, or we can refund them the money. Because any of these situation this is into the three modes. It's a pre-crisis planning and preparedness. One is the crisis response and the communication, and third is the post-crisis evaluation and learning from what has happened. Like recently there was a flash flood last month on 4th of October. So the very next day we went to the home ministry, state home ministry, and the SHRA and everywhere, and whatever because it was the beginning of the month, whatever the stock and the things what we had in the hotel, because we have a casino in the hotel, so generally I have almost 300 staff in the hotel. So first and foremost I have to keep all the materials to feed my staff what we can do, because the roads were cut off, nothing, there was no groceries and things were coming to the hotel. So after can keep for my staff all those materials we went to the Chungtham Dam, which was the most affected area of the Sikkim. So we went there and we ran the things because the situation there was very bad. So these are the things of the crisis management which we can do, and which we help the society. And this we can give back to them.
Thank you, Shashank. I think, yes, I think it's very unfortunate what just happened at Sikkim barely a month back, but I think we are very resilient. We came back and things are definitely getting back to normal. So I think we'll now move to our next very important point of discussion, because we are at a very initial stage, probably in driving tourism across Northeast, where we need a lot of government support if we need to really drive tourism. So my next point would be for Sanjeev. Sanjeev, government and private sector collaboration, I think that's a very, very critical point. What do you think is the importance of collaboration between the government and private sector in terms of driving tourism across Northeast? Your thoughts on that, please.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Das. And I firmly believe that it is very important to have a great public and private partnership in this initiative, so that it can amplify the efforts we put into a scattered manner in our entire Northeast. As Nitin was talking about the efforts being applied in different areas in terms of smaller events, or sometimes it is being organized by the government, sometimes it is being organized by the private partners. So if they both come into a single platform, definitely this partnership will amplify the entire efforts done by both the parties, the government and the private parties. So these initiatives will give multiple results in terms of amplifying the marketing of this particular area, validating the informations. If we have a partnership with government firms and we form some kind of platform which validates the information from the government sides, the people will trust it more, and it will benefit to the people who are traveling here, and they will consider it more confidently. It will, of course, offer a bigger space or bigger platform to put our needs there, from where the government can come, participate, and help us to come out of those situations, or they can extend their supports on that part. Apart from this, definitely, if we have a better public and private partnership, it will catalyze the private investment in Northeast, which will be a very, very instrumental directions in which we'll go. Unless the partnership will not be built up with government and the private sector, the investments would not come, and the growth will still be steady and it will not amplify. If this partnership is being built up more strongly and taken care of or nurtured well, definitely it will help us to highlight the entire Northeast in a better manner than doing it individually at different platforms. Also, if we talk about resources, so government will be one key player who will be able to help us with the different resource which is required for the development of hospitality and tourism in this area. And government can also help us in keeping the tea tribal tourism intact here in this part and connecting this with the hospitality offerings what we are offering here. If we will try to intact or link this individually from the private sector, I think the impact won't be that great or that important. But when government comes into the picture and they try to link the tea tribal tourism or those local flavors or the local tourism here with the bigger platform, I think it will help us to reach at a better, larger audience, and it will be more trusted. So that is my thought here, Mr. Das.
Thank you, Sanjeev. I think you have spelled out most of the initiatives and support that we expect from the government as an industry. So, a couple of key points. I think one is more partnerships in PPP models where because the government has the best locations which probably could be leased out to the hospitality sector in terms of setting up new hospitality projects, state incentives in terms of financial incentives, and of course, I think the industry would look forward to capital subsidy both from the state and central, which could act as a cushion for the hospitality projects to come up across Northeast. I think those sort of partnerships are required. So thank you. Our next point, I think, is again very, very relevant and an USP for tourism across Northeast is adventure and ecotourism. So my next point would be for Praveen. What do you think? How do we explore adventure and ecotourism initiatives, which could be a game changer and can attract thrill seekers and nature enthusiasts in the Northeast region? I think that's something that we are blessed with. So Praveen, how do you think we could actually do that? How could we explore this?
So that's right. You're absolutely right in saying that. Suppose if I take example of Meghalaya, we've got everything which is there, starting from hot balloons to kayaking, to zipping, to camping, and to mountain biking. Everything is there. And above all, trekking is the main thing, trekking through the canyons. But the problem still remains that seeking thrill in the lap of nature, it is directly proportional to the safety of the traveler. So we should not reinvent the wheel in Northeast. We should take example from South Africa or African countries, where they have a beautiful system of having an external agency to verify the safety procedure of, say, a bungee jumping, of, say, a zipping. And another thing which is coming out very prominently is, suppose somebody is going for mountain biking, there's hardly any space for tourists to rest out here. So that kind of infrastructure has to be there. I was speaking to a few of the guests out here who were quite adventurous. The two things which came out very strongly is the volatile political situation at times in Northeast. And another thing which comes out, they don't feel very safe while they're doing adventure sports such as zipping, kayaking, and everything. So if you go to Dauki, there's hardly any lifeguard around. So these are the things which government has to look into.
Praveen, I think challenges will always be there. And I think there's a lot of initiatives. Of course, safety is of prime concern when we talk of any sort of tourism, be it adventure or not. But I think overall, Northeast definitely has a lot to offer in terms of adventure tourism, where a large chunk of our Indian tourists, which is within the age of 20s plus to around 35, would get attracted towards Northeast. I think without compromising on the safety, which we are all concerned about, there's a huge opportunities that is there, and we need to see how we can explore that and how we can make the best use of the natural opportunities that we have in terms of adventure tourism. So this could become a very, very key segment for us.
That's right.
So thank you. Now, tea tourism, I mean, being in Northeast, Assam and other parts of Northeast, I think tea tourism becomes a very, very important point for us. So, Sabyasachi, we would like to know from you, how can Darjeeling, which is, of course, an extended part of Northeast, leverage its unique position as the most premium and aspirational tea destination to attract tourists who are eager to explore the world of tea? I think that's a unique way of exploring that part of the country, with beautiful tea gardens which are there. And the Darjeeling tea, as we all know, is known as the champagne of tea. So how do you think that could act to or catalyze for the tourism segment to grow?
Darjeeling has always been synonymous with tea. In the same time, the tourism has also grown hand in hand with the tea industry. Right from the beginning of the tea industry's growth and having existed, tourism also played a growing role in the destination. Like you rightly mentioned, tea is the Darjeeling tea is known as the champagne is equivalent, and it is primarily because of the GI tagging that it received many years back, and which actually helped in growing the name and the brand of the Darjeeling tea across the globe. It's not that it did not have it, but then it became a brand to reckon with in tea. Northeast per se, right from Darjeeling Hills, wherein other than the tea gardens, it is small pockets of inhabited areas which are the tea planters staying there, or even the Darjeeling town, which is all surrounded with the tea gardens, right up to Assam, which is generally considered to be a staple in the Indian tea industry. So all across there are tea gardens and lush greenery due to the tea gardens, and a beautiful landscape that they give to the entire geography. So this can easily be leveraged for the tea tourism and bringing in niche tourism to the region, and right from Darjeeling to the entire Northeast. The gardens have of late, with government initiatives, of course, have started putting in investments so that the right amount of infrastructure is there for the tourists to come in and have a very comfortable stay in the gardens. Along with that, the major players, Mayfair is one major player in the tea industry of tea belt of Darjeeling, same like ICL, which has also come up with a beautiful resort in Darjeeling. And there are other players in the wings who will definitely come in and put in the investments so that this particular niche segment can easily be taken advantage of, and a lot of tourists can be pulled in who are interested in having a nice lush view of the gardens, as well as the comfort of a good infrastructure, of a good hotel or a good bungalow. Thank you. Thank you, Mr.
Excellent, Sabyasachi. I think, yes, totally agree. Tea tourism is something that can really, really become an USP for this region. And with that in mind, as you said, we have a beautiful Taj luxury resort in the Makaiberry Tea Estate, which is considered to be the oldest and largest organic tea garden in the world. And we're in the pipeline of creating a tea, another tea resort in Hathikuli, which is close to Kaziranga, Hathikuli Tea Estate. And then, of course, verticals of Ama homestays. We're looking at different tea estates across Assam and Darjeeling to build up those homestays. I think these are beautiful opportunities for us. So our last point today is for Sandeep. And I think that's something that we should be very, very sensitive about. Mass tourism, how do we balance that, preserving the ecological balance across Northeast? I think a great example could be Bhutan, how we get inspired by it. So Sanjeev, how do you think we could balance that in terms of driving tourism and ecological preservation and balancing the ecosystem, which is extremely fragile in Northeast?
So seeking thrill in the lap of nature is what everybody wants. And this is the in thing, which is attracting the tourists. So Northeast has a lot to offer in this aspect. And speaking about Meghalaya as such, we have everything from mountain biking to trekking in the Great Canyons, to the hot balloons, to zipping. Everything is there, which needs to be promoted. And the government is doing a lot to promote this also. So in the latest India Tourism Mart, which is happening this month, this aspect is being seriously taken up by the tourism department of Northeast, I must say, to promote all the adventure tourism and the untouched places of Northeast, so that we can spread a word about the tourism, adventure tourism in Northeast.
So there are huge opportunities of driving adventure tourism across Northeast, and I think we are blessed. And almost every state has got something else to offer in terms of trekking, river rafting, etc., etc. So great. Thank you, Praveen.
So in fact, everybody is abundantly blessed. All the pockets across Northeast are abundantly blessed for this.
Correct.
True. So let us, Jayantoda, then begin with the closing part of our show. It's been a wonderful show. Let me hand it over to you before I do the final.
Once again, before we wind up our conversation and our panel discussion, I think I need to thank Bhuvnesh ji and his very, very agile team at BW Hoteliers for offering us this platform where we could present Northeast in the right perspective. We all, me and my colleagues in the panel discussions, we all very strongly believe that Northeast has got a huge, huge potential and is definitely becoming the next tourism hub of India. On that note, on a very positive note, we would like to invite you, Bhuvnesh, to this beautiful part of Northeast and come and please do experience us. Thank you.
Let me tell you, I'm very excited and I plan to come and do a round table in the Northeast.
Surely.
And we will get in people over there and we will beam it live.
Wonderful. We'll look forward to it.
So I must assure you on our part at BW Business World and BW Hotelier, we will do our utmost to bring spotlight on the Northeast and what the Indian hospitality industry is doing and doing responsibly.
Absolutely.
All right. So let me, you've been a wonderful moderator. I think you have another career opportunity waiting for you after you hang up your boots. But let me just sum up here. The Northeast, with its natural beauty, unique culture, and warm hospitality, it has the potential to become one of India's top tourist destinations. We hope this in really exciting and engaging discussion has shed some light on the challenges, opportunities, and the path forward for sustainable tourism. I've been blessed. I'm so lucky that I've had all of you stalwarts on the show with us. And like I said, we're going to really do some exciting stuff in the Northeast. We owe it to our country. We owe it to the beautiful Northeast and the beautiful people of the Northeast. The Northeast, like I began by saying, is God's gift to India. Some of the finest, the most well-dressed, the most articulate, and the most fashionable youngsters who adorn the entire country come from the Northeast. We are blessed. Thank you again, Jayantoda. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, gentlemen, for sparing your time and for enriching our platform. And before I go away,
Thank you.
I also must thank the BW Hotelier and BW team who've really kept this show going. And last but not the least, Diversey, thank you so much. Before we go away, we'll play the Diversey video, so just be there. Thank you again, Jayantoda, for being a wonderful host. And ladies and gentlemen, we shall see you back next Thursday with another episode of the Diversey BW Hotelier GM Show Series Season 2. Thank you all. Bye-bye.